Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today it is my absolute pleasure to say that I'm bringing Tytoń back on the channel as a special guest. He is probably my favorite special guest to bring on at this point. For those of you that don't know him, he is one of the best Xbow Cycle players of all time, and my current favorite 3.0 Xbow Cycle player in the world. So he was able to push up to over 3,300 rating points in Ultimate Champion League, top 50 in the entire world during the end season with 3.0 Xbow Cycle. I don't know how he does it. I myself have been around 2,400, struggling, very annoyed and disappointed with the meta, honestly very frustrating, but people like Tytoń just are living proof that anything is possible if you're good enough, if you set your mind to it. So today I've got his games recorded to share with you guys. As usual, I always love getting him on. He's a friend of mine and one of my biggest inspirations for 3.0 Xbow Cycle as well. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, hope you can learn something like I definitely did, and let's get right into the matches. Alright guys, so I am once more bringing Tytoń onto the channel, my favorite special guest for sure at this point. He's playing 3.0 Xbow Cycle and he is currently at about 2,900 rating points in Ultimate Champion with 3.0. He was at like 24 or 2,500 the other day, so he just did a meteoric rise, skyrocketed up the ranks, and of course I had to get this gameplay on for you guys. I've been personally pretty frustrated with the meta. I've been playing at about 2,400 with 3.0 Xbow Cycle. It has not been fun. I've been facing so much giant graveyard, recruits, Goblin giant decks, and it's just not enjoyable to play in this meta, honestly. Evo Bomber especially, that card is honestly just ruining the game at this point. I just said honestly like 3 times, but it really is true. Like, that is an honest statement. This card is ruining the game, so it's pretty tough for Xbow, as always, what's new, but people like Tytoń are just a living testament that if you're good enough or talented, you can really accomplish anything, no matter what other people think, or no matter what the, I guess, preconceived notions might be of how good the deck is, or how terrible it is, rather, in this situation. Bosk is going to be our opponent here. He's kind of a funny guy, actually. He is known for having, I want to say, like 800 games in a week. I might just pull up his stats and show it on the video later in editing for you guys, just because that's kind of funny if it's true, if he's actually at like 800, but this guy is known for playing the game all the time, pretty much, so it's actually hilarious. Is forced to go for the LP on the Xbow, and Tytoń does get a wonderful Knight punish in the right, getting 4 hits on the tower, so that was really well played. You'll notice a pretty important fundamental he's already exhibiting right in this first match, in the first 2 minutes, is dual lane pressure, and he likes to do that a lot because Xbow is not a very strong win condition by itself, but when you supplement it with dual lane pressure, for example, you have Evo archers coming down, you go for a Knight in front of one of them, Xbow with the other one, or even what he did just now, Knight in front of one normal archer, sometimes, you know, Ice Spirit skeletons, like anything, you can actually get some magic happening, so it's really cool, the kind of things you can accomplish and the kind of pressure you can pursue with this deck, and Tytoń does a great job of that. He also does like the Evo skeletons, and he actually has won many games in the past solely off of Evo skeleton punishes in single, so that's another pretty cool thing that he does. We're up against Splashyard in this first game, and honestly I want to say this is a hard counter for Splashyard, which is wild because you never would have said that before, but now that they have the little prince, it definitely flipped to become their matchup, and now that they have the Evo Bomber instead of the Ice Wizard, it's even worse for us. So there's really no reason a Splashyard player should lose this matchup. Of course, Tytoń does a great job of pressuring in single to get a nice early lead, but if they play perfectly, you won't get that kind of damage, and you will just be down quite a bit, or even, and then you're never going to be able to break through. He goes for a Xbow at the bridge. Unfortunately, the old Xbow was just barely alive, so he was not able to get that down in time, and as a result, this is not going to hit the tower. Bosk does go for the graveyard. Thankfully, this Xbow will still help out against the graveyard a little bit. Good Tesla as well, because that Knight was about to get splashed with the tower by the Baby Dragon Belch, so nice Tesla by Tytoń. Now we can go for an Xbow hugging this other one. I was going to say a fun little buff idea could be, what if you could play an Xbow on top of another Xbow? Like, say you just want to keep pressuring, and just keep the pressure up because you have an Xbow that's about to die. You could maybe go for, you know, Xbow on top of the other Xbow, and that might be a fun little idea. Does get another lock though. Like that would not work all the time because, I mean, of course you would be killing and surviving Xbow, previously surviving Xbow, but that's just an idea I had at one point to stop situations like those. Anyways though, Tytoń gets a great punish off of that Xbow. Actually seemed like a misplay at the time, but of course he capitalized and just made it his own anyways, was able to get a nice lock with a double Xbow supporting, and now it looks like this game is totally Tytoń's. He did pressure most of the game, so he didn't really let Boss go for any nice graveyards, and he also prevented Evo Bombers from splashing up onto the tower. As I say that, Evo Bomber does come down right now, going to get 1 bounce, but not really too big of a deal. And Xbow on the left is kind of going in. Bosk is going to let it lock on for some reason. Titan can go Xbow number 2 in the right. Yup, he does. Poison will come down with this graveyard, but should be well controlled. Archers, log if he needs to. Doesn't even need to, actually. And the Xbow on the left is going to take the entire tower, so Bosk just straight up chose to ignore that. Titan getting great punish and wonderful first win. Alright guys, Titan's into the next match, and he is above 2,900 now, so we are getting very close to 3k. Would be so cool to see it live. Into this one against a Japanese player. Knights on both sides of the board coming down, and a bowler is seen as well. Titan could Xbow, but yeah, he won't, because if he went in the left, the Knight would have obviously tanked, and if he went in the right, I feel like the Knight still would have tanked, and then the opponent would have been able to get the E-Giant down in front. I do suspect there's going to be Electro Giant. When you see Evo Knight and bowler, it's probably either E-Giant or I guess it could be Graveyard in some rare cases, like Graveyard Freeze, but I think the 2 most common ones are either E-Giant or Goblin Giant. So we are going to see an LP as well. Guardian does come in, but this should be a nice defense by Titan. I think everything should be all taken care of. Archers as well, they will get hit by that boulder, but Skeleton is to stall, and that's going to be a perfect defense. No damage taken, as you can see. Even if you go for aggressive Xbows early on, you are going to be able to defend and survive. So Electro Giant matchup going to be very interesting. Honestly, Evo Bats are not that great of a sign. I really don't like that card, actually. It does super well against Xbow, because the Bats just survive anything, and you pretty much have to fireball them when they're evolved. Like, if they get their lifesteal up and they start getting a lot of HP built up, Archers won't really do the trick, and they can also, like, get spelled off. Like, if he has an E-Giant Evo Bats push coming down, Archers can get NATO'd into the E-Giant, they'll die. So you pretty much have to fireball the Bats. So I feel like that's going to be a bit tricky for Titan to deal with. Anyways, though, Evo Archers do come down. They will kind of melt this bowler. Log as well. Maybe we can get a tiny Expo connection. That would be pretty nice for our efforts here. And we do. So we get about 400 or so, 600 even, in the left, which is really nice, actually. That lead is exactly what Titan wants, even though it's pretty much the equivalent of 2 fireballs. You are always trying to get a lead in single elixir against beatdown decks, so Titan doing exactly that. Getting a nice early lead, even if it's not too much. And now we see an E-Giant at the back. Now it's where the real show happens, because there's about to be some massive beatdown pushes coming down. Yeah, Evo Knight in the left, possibly Evo Bats in cycle 2, I'm not sure, I haven't been counting that. If so, they might have to get fireballed. Fireball Log does just take the LP out. Okay, Bats are not evolved, thankfully. We'll have to see an Ice Spirit, and that's going to be a really good Ice Spirit hitting the Knight. And 4 of the Bats. Great utilization of the Evo Skeles in the left. That will clear everything up. Second E-Giant is in the building, though. We're going to see a Knight to protect from the Archers, and then a last second Tesla will come down. Yes, it will. Okay, Lightning does come down as well for the Archers, but Tesla thankfully was spaced enough to pull the E-Giant back, and we're going to see a Log as well. Perfect defense on that E-Giant Lightning push. Only damage coming in was the Lightning itself, so really good defense. Now, speaking of Evos, though, the opponent does have Evo Bats in cycle. We'll have to worry about that a little bit. Bowler does come down. Evo Archers, though, going to put in work. Nice NATO, but that might still melt the bowler in time to get a lock. No, Cannon does come down. Although good pressure by Titan, you know, opponent cycled cards in the right. So sometimes what you want to do in this matchup, especially if they just went for a huge Electro Giant Lightning push, is you just want to go in and try and force stuff out. Fireball Log will come in by Titan, matching that Lightning. You'll notice that's a very common play as well. I saw a lot of good Expo players do that. 7-4, one of my old idols back in the day, one of the GOATs. He would always just match the spell cycle. I was rewatching some of my old recordings the other day. And when the opponent Lightning cycled, he doesn't really like Expo unless he knows he can get a lock, because they're still going to be at 4. They can go like low Knight or low Cannon to tank, and then probably E-Giant in time. So Fireball Log is just guaranteed damage back on the board. And Fireball coming in, I really like this play actually. And Ice Spirit, that will melt the E-Giant. Unfortunately not entirely, but it'll do a pretty good job, and because Titan knew the E-Giant was already taken care of, he does just fireball the tower. So spell value coming in. Spell cycle is a very crucial element of this deck, and Titan showcases that very beautifully. This one, though, I'm not so sure about. Fireballing an Evo Knight, that's like basically fireballing nothing, and I'm a bit worried for Titan right now. Opponent does just E-Giant the back. I feel like that was his opportunity to go for a Lightning on that Knight, but instead just goes Lightning now, which is not too big of a deal. Titan is still up 300. Good Archers going in the right. He will take some Knight damage, but he wants them to counter push and defend in the right lane, which I really like, and just fireballs back. He's up 700 now, but this push, is it defendable actually? E-Giant Bowler 1 lane, Knight LP in the left, and then Evo Bats as well. They will have to get fireballed, as I said, right? Like, Or will they not? Oh my god, I think Tytoń defended that without going Fireball. Wow. Contrary to what I said, he was actually able to survive without that. We'll have to get a Tesla rather down for this E-Giant though. And Evo Skeles almost won in the game. That would have been really clutch. Lightning Nado's about to come in, but Tytoń can Fireball, I believe. Hopefully that bowler's not on tower. That would be very frustrating. Yes. Just barely isn't. Fireball comes down last second. Beautiful win against Tytoń. I feel like this match was not that easy, and Tytoń just did a wonderful job of showcasing how it's supposed to be played. So I really like to see that. Of course, immaculate gameplay as always by Tytoń, and that is going to be another great one by Tytoń for 2.9. Alright guys, I am back here with Tytoń for the game for 3,000 rating points, and let's see what he can do in this fateful match. So RG Rage coming down first play, very curious about that. Did you just go RG the bridge? Like what? Anyways, Cannoneer is seen, Mother Witch 2, this is going to be quite a bit of damage actually, unless Tytoń maybe like gets something down. He's going to ignore these. Actually, he could ignore them and go Xbow. I feel like that's a play that's doable. Or he will have to respond to the Mother Witch. Yeah, Ice Spirit does come down. But now, I think he ignored those pigs because he wanted to Xbow right now, knowing that the opponent is 2 cards away from the RG. Yes, exactly. So, utilizing single. And, oh my lord, the opponent has a Monk. What? Okay, that is unexpected. And that is something that you never see these days. Monk. And, oh my god, Evo RG, Evo Bomber Monk. Are you kidding me? Goblin Cage 2, that makes it even worse, actually. So this is going to be a very tough matchup, guys. Like, I don't know how he can do this, actually. Monk RG, are you serious? It does depend on his other spell, but, like, just by looking at this, of course, it looks terrible. And Evo Bomber is a win condition in its own right. That card can also screw you over, and that can really just decimate an Xbow and also just get so much guaranteed tower damage. Like, I've been watching Tytoń for a while. I saw him lose to quite a few RG matchups because he did go for the Evo Bomber, and or the opponent rather went for the Evo Bomber, lined up with the tower, and was just able to get a game-changing amount of damage. Right here, 2 hits coming down. Unfortunately, that's going to put Tytoń... Actually, he's still in the lead somehow, damage lead, courtesy of that Cannoneer. A nice King Tower activation. Just going to help against, like, I guess some stray cursed Hogs. Maybe a counter-pushing Goblin Brawler, potentially. Not much else, actually. Mother Witch hits from far, RG hits from far, Bomber, Monk is not really going to get close to the tower, but that's going to help against some cards, I guess. I love this Evo Skeles play. They will force a spell out because opponent does have the Cannoneer. No, he has E-Wiz, actually. Xbow Evo Archers, though, opponent does have the RG in Cycle, unfortunately, and he does have arrows in this deck, guys, so I want to say it's not like a 1,000-0 impossible matchup, but it's still a very bad matchup. If he had like lightning arrows, that would be like just straight up impossible. But because he has no big spell, I feel like there's a chance for Tytoń to win this with immaculate defense and spell cycle. Again, it all comes down to spell cycle. Right there, what did I say? Right on cue, he fireballs the tower, naked fireball, because he recognizes that is his win condition now. He's not going to break through with an Xbow against an RG and a Monk in the deck. So what's he going to do? He's going to try and spell cycle as much as he can instead. Also, really like those archers on the Monk, trying to force out the ability early if he could. Doesn't really come down. Somehow defends that perfectly. That looked much more scary than Tytoń made it look in the end. Like, that looked like it was going to be a devastating push, but Tytoń just kind of decimated that push easily. Like, no sweat at all. So defense Vexo is the move again. I like this. Pretty much one of the only weaknesses in the opponent's deck against Xbow is the fact that he lacks a big spell. So Tytoń is capitalizing on that and taking advantage by forcing him to give him value with the defensive Vexo. Unfortunately, that Evo Bomber misplay on Tytoń's end kind of mishandled that defense is going to result in 2 hits on the tower, I believe. He's still thankfully up elixir or up damage in the right. Oh, beautiful archers, and that's going to get a lock. Oh my god, Tytoń surely knew the opponent did not have enough for the RG elixir-wise. So he went archers to snipe that Goblin Cage. I love that play, man, and that might win him the game, actually. He was still winning in the right, but that was just a game-changing play. Like, those kind of plays are the plays that Tytoń makes. Exact elixir-wise counted, exact card cycle counting as well. Just precise and immaculate, honestly. Fireball, oh, I love that as well. Does not work out, but you can see if the opponent didn't RG in time, maybe he was lazy, maybe he let the Goblin Cage get its full lifetime of defense off. That would have been another connection because he wouldn't have been ready for it. So I just love what Tytoń's doing, man. This is beautiful. Solo triple is about to come down and stuff is about to get real. Opponent's probably going to get the Monk down, abuse a 3-card cycle. Yup, right there. And we're going to be in for a crazy sequence. Tytoń is going to have to worry about 2 things right now. Number 1, Mother Witch Pigs. Number 2, Evo Bomber lineups. I feel like the RGs are going to be manageable. They're pretty standard, but Mother Witch Pigs can lose you the game against RG, as can the Evo Bomber, of course. So Xbow comes down, should get ability coming in. No monk ability. Wait, did he already go for it? I can't even tell. If not, that was a big misplay, though. He definitely should have. Nice fireball, double RGs coming down. Look at this, Royal Jesus. And gonna be controlled pretty well. Tesla low. Knight, Evo Bomber, oh my god, that splashing tower though, that's so much damage, but not enough to win the game. I think Tytoń walked away with this one, guys. Oh my goodness. Needs to get a second Tesla down, though. Hold up, this looks bad. Needs to Ice Spirit? Okay, Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit dies. Log Tesla. Okay, beautiful log. Barely surviving. That was almost a choke, but he was able to clutch it out. Beautiful win against RG Monk. For 3K, what could be more fitting, man? That is just beautiful stuff. Love to see it. Well played to Tytoń. And that is going to be his game for 3,000, guys. Let's freaking go. Alright guys, so I recorded so many games of Tytoń's gameplay up to 3K, and I thought that was going to be the video, but now I came back like hours later and he's still pushing, and he is higher. He's at like 3150 plus right now. This is like into top 200 level range. So this is just so impressive, honestly. I had to keep recording, obviously, so RIP to my phone storage, but let's get it. Now into our match against Lucas. Someone pointed out this is actually Lucas X Gamer's real account. I was like, okay, this is probably not the real Lucas, but turns out it is. So good Tesla as well. Wall breakers are going to melt to that Tesla. This is probably a good game, right? Yeah. Great punish by Tytoń, and this minor wall breakers deck is so broken. Last two cards should be LP and Poison, but the one thing that it doesn't have is a mini tank for the Xbow. Like, it doesn't have a Knight, doesn't have a Valkyrie, and so Tytoń is going to abuse that in single and actually win the game off of this counter push. I think Lucas was maybe a bit too aggressive and gave Tytoń a bit too much to work with, so Tytoń was able to get a nice counter push, and that's going to be a good game. Literally, Lucas does give up, so Tytoń will take that. So very easy first win right to start recording. He just has to destroy his opponent, of course. Evo Skeles also do really well against the Cannoneer, by the way, so I think that's another nice thing. This card is so broken, the Cannoneer, than Tower Troop, but Evo Skeles are really good on offense, actually. They need even more of a response than a Princess Tower would require, but that's going to be a very free first win against Lucas X Gamer. Alright guys, number 94 as you saw there, so Tytoń is in the top 100 in the entire world with 3.0 Xbow Cycle. Oh no, he's now against Sugar Frenzy, a Royal Recruits player. I know this guy, like I'm okay friends with him. I think we're mutuals on Twitter. So yeah, he literally plays Evo Recruits, as you can see. Evo Recruits, Evo Bomber. Gonna be Royal Hogs. Probably the last cards are Pigs, Fireball, Arrows. This should be like a super hard counter, to be honest. I don't know how Tytoń is gonna manage this. We'll have to see. Evo Recruits the back. How is he going to cope? The good news is that Sugar Frenzy does have the Cannoneer. Tytoń is going to have that. Oh, but Bomber. Oh, no. That's going to be 2 hits on the tower. That's going to kill that Evo Archer as well. That is just so depressing. That's such a busted card as well. Look at that ridiculous card. Tytoń could Xbow, though, I think. Maybe? Well, that Recruit's going to charge in the left otherwise. Okay, yeah. Evo Skeles are going to come down. And then Xbow. I love this. Okay, really good punish, but Tytoń is going to have to log. What's happening? He's gonna get a lock, right? Okay, good lock. But the Skelly drags. What can Tytoń do now? Let's see. That's gonna be down to about 2,000, I guess. Archers come down. Oh man, but Tytoń is still down so much right now. He's literally down 1,000. Decent counter push, you know, Skellies, they do counter push against Cannoneer. They'll actually get 1 tower hit, as you can see. But the problem is, Sugar Frenzy's still up like so much. All he has to do is now defend. Tytoń cannot come back with pure spell cycle, I think. Well, he could try, but I don't see how it's happening, especially if Sugar Frenzy's last card is Fireball, which it should be. So, I love this play, though. Archer stacked in the other lane. Nice heads-up play against arrows, as you can see, because they do just force the arrows out in the lane that Sugar Frenzy does not want to go and get tower damage in. Absolutely has to watch out for any kind of Evo Bomber lineups on tower as well right now. That's going to be very devastating if it gets on. Probably going to lose Tytoń the game off of even 1 Evo Bomber connection. Okay, defensive Xbow, anti-Fireball placement. So he does presume that Sugar Frenzy is running the Fireball in this deck. I think it's a fair assumption to make. Log comes down in the right. Evo Archers as well. They will force arrows out. Okay, Fireball forced out. Ice Spirit, Evo Skeles forcing out the arrows. And now Xbow. This is actually a really nice counter push Tytoń built up. And he can Fireball. First Fireball of the game. And Log as well. Is this going to be a lock? Hold up. Skeles catch the Evo Bomber. Oh my god. I think Tytoń somehow is going to get a connection, guys. Oh my goodness. Second Fireball is back. But some damage is coming in. Ice Spirit Knight. I like this as well. Again, Cannoneer has a slow firing rate, so Tytoń can kind of abuse that. Fireball Skelly Drag is going to get 1, 2 Knight hits maybe. Oh my god, that is huge. And he will Tesla in time. Perfect placement, of course. It's Tytoń. It's going to be the perfect placement. Log as well. That's going to be fully defended, I think. Ice Spirit to make sure. Guys, he's actually closed the damage gap. He did get a lock, like I said. I don't think Spell Cycle was doable when you're down that much, so Tytoń just was like, okay, screw it, I'll do it myself. I'll defensive Xbow, build up an advantage, then offensive Xbow, and get a lock, and that's exactly what he did. Knight, Evo Skeles to defend this in the left, stacked archers in the right, because this is really nice, but guys, very basic principle that comes back into play is the no spell site, or preventing the opponent from getting spell value on multiple things, and Tyton's doing that with the Evo Skeles and the archers. As you saw, the Evo archers, or even base archers actually in the right, were getting a lot of value because Sugar Frenzy just couldn't use arrows on them, and Tytoń was just kind of abusing that fact. Again, forcing the fireball out in the right, and now just fireball cycles. Can he defend this though? Flying Machine is about to come down. Scalar Drags are about to come down, right? Without a fireball, is it possible? Okay, defensive fireball comes down. Tesla as well. Flying Machine spammed at the bridge. Evo Bomber spammed. Skeles. How will this Flying Machine get controlled? Knight does come down, but that's not going to be in tower range, so that's a bit problematic. He has to Tesla to snipe it, I think. Yes, he does. This is so tense, dude. Oh my goodness. Fireball again. Fireball back by Sugar. Tyton's still in the lead, though, by like 12 HP, man. Second Tesla's back. I think he's going to win. I think he can fireball log. Yeah, arrows forced out off the tower. Log on defense. He can fireball and he will win. If that pig doesn't get a hit, and it doesn't. Oh my god, guys. Tytoń somehow brought this back when he was down like over 1,000 in single. I cannot believe what I just saw. That was just insane. Like, I actually can't believe it. That's going to be another win. Let's get it, dude. Tytoń winning against hard counters is just his middle name, I guess. That's going to be another one for the books. Amazing stuff. Alright guys, Tytoń against Romain. This should be a good one. Romain is a very good Pigs EQ player. Tytoń is not getting blessed by good matchups right now. He just beat Recruits, dude. Like, what in the world? And now Romain, a very good Pigs EQ player. I believe he has Little Prince, Evo Bomber in this deck. Evo Bomber we've already seen. Should have the LP in there as well. Yup, right on cue. So gonna be a pretty tough matchup, I'd say. I don't think it's impossible, but it's definitely not great because they have LP. Like, LP, you guys know if you play Xbow. It's one of the best counters in the whole game to Xbow. And then Evo Bomber, also a really good counter to Xbow, and also just a win condition that gets guaranteed tower damage every time it's played, so this is not going to be very fun. That said, if Tytoń does defend perfectly, he's going to be able to control the Evo Bomber. Well, I guess, okay, not this one. That one's going to line up and get a few hits on the tower, unfortunately. He can maybe activate King, though. Yup, nice Archer's placement. Should activate King. That's super huge, guys. One of the only counterplays to Evo Bomber in the game right now is the fact that you can actually activate King off of it. So Tytoń abuses that. We'll get an early lead in terms of utility because he does get the King Tower activated, which will help out against all future Pigs pushes, of course. Fireball does come down. Should be like 2 Piggy headbutts. King Tower helps out, but still some headbutts coming in. And Xbow does come down, but I think they should be easily defended. Evo Skeles come down to predict an LP, maybe? Do they work? Oh my god, they work! They killed LP. Okay, that's huge. But Guardian comes down. Will it get defended? No, not enough elixir for the Knight, but last second log, maybe a baby lock. No, I feel like he really deserved one, but didn't get one, unfortunately. That's kind of hurtful to see. I would have loved to see Tytoń get a lock there, actually. I feel like that was a nice play. You know, Evo Skeles to catch the LP actually worked out, but unfortunately the ability is just so busted against the Xbow. Okay, about to see Pigs in the middle, most likely. Yep, this is a very common play these Pigs players make. Evo Skeles split, Pig split, but should be well defended. Yep, 0 value out of those Evo Skeles. Look at that nice defense by Tytoń. Not playing into the bait, not giving them much value. And now Xbow will be solid. I think Evo Bomber's available, though, for Romain, so this is not amazing. Nice, good protection of that Evo Archer in the right lane. And Evo Bomber is there. I said Evo Bomber, I meant Evo Archer. Of course that hits tower. How does that hit tower? What? That was ridiculous. If you guys saw that, like, what in the world? So Tytoń is still kind of fighting an uphill battle right now. I mean, I like to try and get a lock in single against this matchup. Tytoń tried to do the same thing. Pre-Tesla comes down by Romain, predicting Tyton's high Tesla, but it's also just acting as kind of an obstacle on the board now. It's going to stop any kind of Tesla. Okay, nice Knight Tesla. That's pretty much the only play you can make. You can't Tesla into their Tesla because it'll just die, and then you won't have a Tesla anymore. So what he has to do instead is go for the Knight to block the Tesla, and then go for Tesla. So that's pretty nice. Log as well. Again, this high Tesla is going to be a bit annoying, but I think Tytoń should be okay. Evo Skeles, hold up. This is going to be scary in the right. I think we'll have to see a log, right? Or Evo Skeles to match. Okay. And then a log. That's good. Yeah. Evo Skeles were EQ'd off. So, although that is the EQ baited out, actually. So Tytoń could maybe get a lock right now. Evo Archers come down to predict something. Will it lock on tower? No, it won't. Okay, excuse me. Log on the left side, though. That'll maybe be a mini lock. Yes, we finally get one. For the first time, we get a sizable Xbow lock, even though That's not even sizable, that's like 300, but I think that's the most damage Titan's gotten from an Xbow lock so far, so, you know, that's pretty solid, I guess. LP comes down, but caught by the knight, beautiful stuff. Archers to predict the guardian coming down, and now these pigs will have to get defended in the left, right? So maybe, like, log, something in the left? Nothing in the left? Okay, maybe another Xbow coming down immediately. We do get a log! Okay, hold up, that's huge, because that's kind of damage equalizing out now. Titan's actually in the lead for the first time. As you can see, you have to work for a lock in this matchup. You cannot really get it working without a connection. And hold up, I just noticed Romain has not played a log. Does he not have a log on this deck? That's actually pretty helpful, because I think his last card might be Delivery in that case. Because I noticed he does have the Ice Spirit as well. Ice Spirit, Skeles, and Bomber. Usually you're replacing the Ice Spirit for that Bomber. So Romain looks like he replaced the log with an Ice Spirit instead. That's going to help Titan out a lot, though, of course, because Romain can't really Spell Cycle match. He can, like, Fireball while Romain EQs, and Fireball already does more damage than the Earthquake. And then Romain can't log. Yeah, last card is Delivery, so that's not going to be too good for Romain, actually. Titan might be able to abuse that. Hold up, though. This is bad. Pigs coming down. Tesla is there. Hopefully the Bomber doesn't land into tower. No, it doesn't. Nice placement. And has to kill that Bomber. Like, that has to get off the board. If that hits tower even once, it might be game. But no, it's not going to hit tower. I think Titan won, guys. Let's go. That was beautiful stuff against Royal Hogs Earthquake. Sort of an evenish matchup, I guess, because Romain did not have the log, but still, of course, LP makes it very tough, and Evo Bomber potentially can ruin the game for you. So still very well controlled by Titan. Wonderful stuff. Going to be another win against a very tricky matchup in the meta. Love to see it. Titan just doing what he does best. Alright guys, and Titan is trying to ascend to a new dimension by going for 3,300 and even higher. Absolutely unheard of heights with 3.0. I think he is definitely the highest 3.0 cycle player in the world right now. I'm pretty sure every other Xbow player that's this high, Aragon, Betfus, are playing with Evo Bomber and the Little Prince version as well. So this is just so impressive to be using classic, basic 3.0. And of course, we get punished for that right here. Queuing into Giant Graveyard, pretty much a 100-0 matchup, especially if this dude has a bowler as well. That's going to make it even worse. Although, perfect King Tower activation, that's going to be really crucial because obviously this is a graveyard deck, so having the activated King is going to help quite a lot against the subsequent graveyard pushes. That being said, this still might not be that great of a situation because the opponent does have the Evo Bomber, has the LP, has the Evo Bats. Okay, Dark Prince is going to make it a little bit doable. It's still not a good matchup at all. It's very bad. But Dark Prince over Bowler does help quite a bit because obviously Bowler is yet another Xbow counter in the deck. And also with Titan already having a King Tower activation up, that will serve him pretty well. LP does come down. That should definitely kill the Xbow with the Guardian, but Evo Skeles are here, although Snowball does just clear everything. We get a tiny Xbow connection. Hold up, these skeletons might do something. Force out the Bomber, okay. And Knight at the bridge is going to come down. Unfortunately, that's not going to do that well. Titan had a great idea there, wanted to punish the opponent for being low in Elixir. Unfortunately, though, Titan is the only one getting punished right now because Evo Bats are just going to get some free lifesteal off that Knight and get a nice counter push, getting some chip as well, so good idea. Just unfortunate execution and timing on Titan's end there. Dark Prince coming down, Giant in front, and Titan is down 1,000, so the true only way to get a comeback in this position is to get an Xbow lock. I don't foresee how that's going to be doable because it's really just not going to be doable. Nice log to clean up the Graveyard Skeles, Ice Spirit 2, and as you can see, the King Tower activation is so clutch. I think he took basically no damage from that Graveyard, in spite of it being fully tanked for by the Giant the whole time. So that's just the power of a King Tower activation again. Evo Bomber, one of the only weaknesses and ways you can exploit it is by activating that King Tower, so definitely try and do that as much as you can if your opponent gives you an opening. I think the opponent messed up, however he got that Bomber down and giving Titan that activation opportunity. Evo Skeles are going to come down and Snowball. Nice arrow Snowball forced out on the Evo Archers, which means these Evo Skeles will have free reign to full counter the Graveyard. Meanwhile, opponent's low on Elixir, and Xbow will hopefully wreak havoc here. Ice Spirit in front of the Skeles in the right, so that's going to force a spell response. LP cannot afford to go for that ability. Arrows forced out. In the meantime, Xbow locked on the left. That is a flawless sequence by Titan. That is how you get a lock against Giant Graveyard. That is just so clutch, so key, so insane, and that's going to put him back in the lead. He's up 500 now. That's just absolutely wild. Heal Spirit Wink coming down. So just like that, I think Titan's back in this match. That was a beautiful, flawless punish. You will notice as well, wonderful utilization of that spell bait concept, making the Evo Archers force out the arrows and snowball combination, excuse me, resulting in Evo Skeles getting free reign to full counter that graveyard for a +4. Meanwhile, Evo Archers a -2 for the opponent as well. Negative elixir trades compounding big time, and Tytoń got himself a huge Xbow lock for that opportunity. Nice arrows do not come down on the Evo Archers, although that's still going to be a dead Xbow. Evo Bats kind of melt everything, but nonetheless, that's still going to be a pretty good situation for Tytoń. All he has to do right now is not take too much giant graveyard damage, and he will be in the clear. He's also going to keep this pressure up, which I do like as well. Will this Tesla pull the giant? Somehow it does. That is wild. I did not expect it to, actually. But thankfully it does. Gonna need to see a log on this graveyard real quick. Yep, we do see it come down. Tytoń is still not up damage anymore, but he will probably Fireball Tower. I don't think he's gonna Expo. He could Expo, but probably just a Fireball if I had to guess. Yes, Fireball's a Dark Prince. And probably gonna see one more Fireball come down, in addition to one more Graveyard Defense. Whoa, a lot of damage coming in the left, actually. I missed that. Okay, we'll have to see a Fireball for these Evo Bats, actually. So I think we'll see one Fireball on defense there, yep. And then one more on offense as well. Really nice defense by Tytoń. Hopefully no Bat hits. Okay, one hit. But I think if that Bomber doesn't hit the tower, that is going to be a good game. Fireball comes down. Log needed on this graveyard to make sure. No log on the tower instead. And that is going to hit the tower. No, it's not, but still going to be GG. Oh my god. Tytoń beating a crazy matchup. Super clutch win. Just flawless execution pretty much the entire time. That is exactly how it's done. Against some of the hardest matchups at the top of ladder. Alright guys, this is going to be the game for 3K, and oh my god, is Zafkiel. This guy is a friend of mine, actually. By the way, I learned Korean. If you guys have been watching me for like the last month, you'll know I've been posting some brief updates. So I can actually read his name. It says Zaf X New Jeans, which is New Jeans, the K-pop band, whatever group thing. I don't really follow it, but that does say Zaf X New Jeans in Korean. So that was like a moment for me where I was like, wow, I can actually read Korean now. That's cool. I can actually understand what his name means. I never knew what it meant before. Anyways, though, Zafkiel is going to be a Recruits player, but looks like he's not playing Recruit. He's actually playing Goblin Giant right now. Skeleton will get one sneaky chip hit in the right, but Goblin Giant's never a great sign, honestly. That has so much HP. It's very frustrating, and also usually it's paired with some very annoying support cards these days. You know, Arrow's already seen. Most likely is going to have a Lightning, because no one really plays Goblin Giant Fireball Arrows these days. Pretty much everyone has like Lightning Arrows or like Arrow's Rage, I want to say. Ideally for Tytoń it's going to be Arrow's Rage here, not Arrow's Lightning. But who knows anyway. Evo Bomber, Evo Knight, not a combination any Xbow player wants to see. I mean, that's going to be pretty frustrating and troublesome. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the plan of action is right now. Mother Witch comes down. Might get fireballed off, might not, because that is not the lane that Tytoń wants damage in. So he could just choose to ignore it as well. And he actually will. Yeah, he'll just play his Evo Archers instead. That's a play you make sometimes, guys. If they give you intentional fireballs in the opposite lane, you don't always take them because you want more. You want to utilize your... Oh no, that's so bad. That's going to be 3 bomber hits on the tower. Very tough. Knight just barely didn't get down in time. That was a good Knight attempt. And if it got down, I want to say that might have been a much better situation, because Bomber would not have hit the Expo at all, would not have hit the tower as well, for that matter. So that is very tough. Activation attempt, not going to work out. Gone wrong. Great prediction arrows, actually, by Zaf. So, a bit tough there. Gonna prevent the King Tower activation. That would have been super helpful, obviously. But Tytoń still not doing too bad, because Cannoneer does thankfully come with an HP debuff in comparison to the King Tower, or Princess Tower rather. So that's a big help actually in a lot of these tough matchups, because you do just spawn with about a 700 damage lead. Fireball comes down on the Goblin Giant plus Fisherman. Still have not seen any big spells out of Zaf. Good arrows though. Second Tesla is going to be necessary, or maybe not actually. Yeah, not necessary. Good log. And that's going to full counter everything. Whoa, clips the LP as well. That was really clean, actually. Tesla comes down. Let's see what is going to happen now. Cannoneer going to work. Ice Spirit does jump. That's huge. Every bit of chip matters right now, because this is definitely going to be a chip-type matchup. You know, Tytoń's not going to get a lock, most likely. It's going to be like Spell Cycle and Expos to pressure. Notice, like, basically no offensive Expos have come down, though. Oh, no. Evo Bomber going to get fireballed off. Not before it gets one hit on the tower, though. And Lightning as well. Second Tesla is there for the Lightning. Expo is necessary right now, yup. And LP comes down, but the opponent, Zaf here, wasted his LP. Just uses Lightning, does not have Goblin Giant either. Hopefully Tytoń can get a lock here, but I feel like it's going to be tough. He's already back to Goblin Giant now. Yeah. No, man, that was a good opportunity, but just a lot of bailout options for Goblin Giant, honestly. Knight tanks forever. LP does a great job. Evo Bomber is a pain. Like, this just sucks, dude. Evo Skeles should full counter that, though, and then Expo comes down. Notice Tytoń, whenever he gets these massive positive elixir trade plays, he does go for an Expo opposite lane. And those Skeles actually will force out arrows, so these archers in the left can get full free reign. Now, I think Tytoń can get back to an Xbow in the right. This is huge. Yeah, he's definitely already cycling. He's planning on it. So Xbow in the right, and that's going to get on. And Xbow in the left also locked on, so Zaf is in trouble here. What does he do? Which side does he respond to? Knight comes down too late for the Mother Witch, but does get logged off. And Tytoń's going to get a lock in both lanes. Dual Xbows on the board. Good damage in the left, even better damage in the right, except the Knight does get picked up. But that is going to put Tytoń back in business. I don't know how, but he somehow finds these locks against Giant Graveyard, against Goblin Giant. He gets them, like, somehow. He just conjures them out of thin air. Evil Archer's opposite lane, beautifully placed to prevent any kind of spell value with the right side tower. And I feel like Tytoń actually has this in the bag. Hold up, this is looking really bad, actually. Goblin Giant, LP to snipe, but Archer sniping the LP as well. Evo Skeles getting free reign. Oh, that's going to full counter the Goblin Giant, right? No, they're not. But Log, Ice Spirit, okay. Need something else for this. Knight, yes, okay. Bomber cannot hit tower. If hits tower even once, it might be game. Okay, good control of that bomber right there. Very nice. And I think Tytoń won. All he has to do is fireball tower one more time and not take any other direct tower damage, and he will win this crazy hard counter for the 3.3k. Oh my goodness. Fireball Log. I think he's back to a second fireball, right? He has to be, otherwise he does not win. One more card. Okay, Log, fireball. That's going to be it, guys. Let's freaking go. Tytoń just beat Giant Graveyard, and then Goblin Giant Lightning Arrows back to back. That's insane. And that is going to put him at 3,300 rating points in Ultimate Champion. I cannot believe what I just saw. That was a majestic, completely insane match, and that's going to be it. Tytoń's going to be 3316, number 53 in the world, and that's going to be it for the video as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It is always my absolute pleasure to get this guy on the channel. I just love commentating his games. You can probably tell from the way I'm talking about it that it's just like, it's just so great. Like, he's so good to watch. It's so fun. He's so talented. It's amazing. Xbow in this meta is not good, but Tytoń is, and he's just keeping it alive. He also was able to push up even higher, but unfortunately dropped down. Didn't record those games, but he was at 3333 exactly, so that was just amazing. But that is it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know that you would like to see more of this content. It is always my pleasure to get it on, but still, appreciation would be appreciated on my end. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.